If you woke up every morning and I told you you suck at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you are the best fit for this. Like, you are accurate, you are the best whatever, you are this, you are that. Like, how would it make you feel listening to one or the other? You see what I'm saying? And then you hear it, regardless of what it is, the good or the bad. And you hear it more and more. You start to actually believe that. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the United States. You have a terrible person that's telling you things that you don't want to hear, or that you probably shouldn't be hearing. You're going to start to believe that about yourself.
Flashback.
We had a good relationship. It was a player-coach relationship. And I think in a relationship like that, the coach challenges the player. And oftentimes the player challenges the coach. And I think there was a great deal of respect between the two of us. So you hear these crazy this narrative that's out there. But this is a young man who works, who developed and got better over 2 years. And I think he's got a bright future. And I wish him all the best.
Wow, interesting comments made by Tua Tagovailoa and Brian Flores. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Tua Tagovailoa destroying Brian Flores for being a terrible person. Apparently, Tua Tagovailoa was interviewed on the Dan Le Batard show, and he had a lot of bad things to say about Brian Flores. In the process, he also managed to praise Mike McDaniel for his elite coaching on the Dolphins. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. Do you agree with Tua Tagovailoa's comments on Brian Flores? I'm actually going to say yes to that. You guys know that I have been a long-time critic of Tua Tagovailoa, and even though I still believe Tua Tagovailoa is not that good of a quarterback, I don't like the way how Brian Flores treated that whole situation. Look, there's a right way and a wrong way to handle quarterbacks at the NFL level, or any profession for that matter, and Brian Flores did not handle the Tua Tagovailoa situation correctly. Yes, I understand that Brian Flores didn't want Tua Tagovailoa as his quarterback, and he was very vocal about it, but you have to be professional in the workplace, particularly at the quarterback position. When you coach up quarterbacks, you have to make your quarterbacks believe in you. If the quarterback does not trust the head coach, then the quarterback is not going to succeed no matter what. Tua Tagovailoa has a very weak arm at the NFL level, but he manages to compensate his weak arm by having elite anticipation. The guy can anticipate his reads extremely quickly. He has a fast release. He knows how to throw guys open. He knows how to anticipate where the guys are going to run through their zone. Therefore, that's why Tua Tagovailoa is extremely accurate with the football. My issue with Tua Tagovailoa is that he does not show up in big games, and Brian Flores felt like you cannot win a championship with Tua Tagovailoa as your quarterback. And you know what? I agree with Brian Flores completely on that part. However, what Brian Flores should have done in this situation was to treat Tua Tagovailoa like a professional. He should have acted professional to Tua Tagovailoa and said to him, hey, I don't necessarily like you as a quarterback, but we're going to make this work together. We're going to go ahead and build around you. That's what he should have said to Tua Tagovailoa. He should not have thrown a tantrum at the organization and then tried to basically treat Tua like trash, because that's not how you treat quarterbacks at the NFL level. It's why I lost a lot of respect for Sean Payton during the Russell Wilson situation, where he shouted at him during the sidelines. This is not me advocating for soft coaching, because there's a difference between hard coaching and not being a good person. Hard coaching is when you are coaching up the quarterback and you're challenging him to get better each and every day. Being a terrible person, on the other hand, is when you're constantly telling that quarterback, you suck, you don't belong at your job, and you don't belong in the National Football League. You don't ever tell your own starting quarterback that kind of quote. You tell your own starting quarterback, hey, I understand you might not be the best out there, but let's go ahead and really work on what you need to work on, and let's make the best out of this situation. I understand that you may not appreciate my coaching style, but you need to go ahead and listen to my advice, because if you don't listen to me, there's going to be no trust built between quarterback and head coach. And when you don't have that kind of trust, you're not going to win a lot of football games. Point blank. Tua Tagovailoa had to deal with the mess of Brian Flores for 2 years. Now, granted, do I think Brian Flores is a great defensive mind? Of course, you look at how the Dolphins defense, they got better throughout the course of 3 years when he was the head coach in Miami. You also look at how a lot of defensive players respected Brian Flores for the most part, but the most important position in the NFL is quarterback. And if you don't know how to treat the quarterback position correctly, well, then you have no business being a head coach in the National Football League. It's probably one of the reasons why Brian Flores will never be a head coach again in the NFL. And this guy was talking about racism from owners. This guy had me thinking, oh man, Stephen Ross was treating this guy really poorly, when in reality, the reason why you got fired is because you treated Tua like trash. And I understand that Tua Tagovailoa is an overrated football player. In fact, if you had to ask me who was the most overrated quarterback in the NFL right now, I would say Tua Tagovailoa. Yes, I know that he puts up elite stats, but any average quarterback could put elite stats when he has Tyreek Hill, Jalen, Waddle, Raheem, Mostert, and the play caller of Mike McDaniel. The Miami Dolphins roster and coaching is really stacked. I really believe you could put Geno Smith on the Miami Dolphins and they would still be able to put up the same production as Tua Tagovailoa. And you know how many people think Geno Smith is an elite quarterback? None. Nobody thinks Geno Smith is an elite quarterback at the NFL level. In fact, you got some people questioning whether he's a better quarterback than Sam Howell at the NFL level. I'm not going to say I'm one of those people, but what I am going to say is Tua Tagovailoa is nothing more than an average quarterback. There are 14 quarterbacks better than Tua Tagovailoa right now in the NFL. I'm going to give you all those names right now. They are Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, and Dak Prescott. That's right, I'm taking all 14 of those quarterbacks over Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa is the definition of an average quarterback at the NFL level, because what is Tua Tagovailoa known for? Front running against bad teams. But whenever Tua Tagovailoa has to play against real competition, more often than not, he folds to the pressure and he shrinks in big moments. That's why even though Tua Tagovailoa has a winning record as a starter, nobody can tell me what is his signature win. There is no signature win in Tua Tagovailoa's NFL career. And every time Tua Tagovailoa has to step up in a big game, he shrinks under pressure, and you cannot win with that kind of quarterback. I know Brian Flores also wanted Justin Herbert as his quarterback, which I can't really blame him for whatsoever, because I would have wanted Justin Herbert at the quarterback position myself. I think Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa. In fact, if you had to ask me where I would rank Tua Tagovailoa in the 2020 NFL draft class, I would rank him 5th amongst 5 quarterbacks. That's right, I'm taking Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurts all above Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa has not even won a playoff game yet, and he doesn't have the excuse of having Brandon Staley as his head coach. Obviously, Tua Tagovailoa is one of the more overrated quarterbacks at the NFL level. I understand he has elite accuracy and elite anticipation. I agree with those comments that people would say about Tua Tagovailoa if I had to go ahead and praise him, but other than that, he doesn't really offer a whole lot to the game. He's not really fast as a quarterback. He's injury prone. His arm strength is very bad. And more importantly, he doesn't rise up to the occasion in big games. In fact, if somebody told me that he was the AFC's version of Dak Prescott, I would probably chuckle and say that's definitely true, because that's the kind of quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is. At the end of the day, though, I understand why Tua would feel the way that he would about Brian Flores. I don't think Brian Flores handled that situation correctly, and I think the way how Mike McDaniel has dealt with the Tua situation, that's the right way to do it. I think more head coaches need to take that approach. But at the end of the day, though, can you win a championship with Tua Tagovailoa as your quarterback? No, you can't. And the sooner Dolphins fans accept that, the better that it will be for all parties involved. So that is why I somewhat agree with Tua Tagovailoa's comments on Brian Flores, even though Brian Flores was not necessarily wrong about his evaluation on Tua Tagovailoa. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran and that Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.